drifted alarmingly in the betting, was, fancied in the morning, continued to drift. It was late on the exchanges to lose. It was something you'd see in a Dick Francis novel, Charles Burns.
The ground is soft. It's not.
It's heavy.
It's soft on times.
It's heavy.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. The Sunday sermon. No, not your usual host, Lee Keys here. You've got the worst snap stand-in to pick things up for you today. However, I am pleased to say I'm joined by the two usual fan favourites on a Sunday night, John Leng and Chris Law Malvo. Chaps, good evening. How are we?
Hello. Like death warmed up, but there we are.
Well, John's just been telling us he's had some Yorkshire puddings to kick off his evening.
I'm a little bit worried about you hosting this show, to be honest, Jack. We have a record of getting scopes and things. I'm frightened somebody might find out that I touched the Queen Mother up in the lift in 1987.
Or that I murdered 9 hitchhikers when I lived in America. Yeah. It's all going to come out.
Yeah, I've had my name put to worse in my time, so I'm not that bothered.
Hardly, but carry on.
We'll see. We've got some time to incriminate me thus far. But as always, we shall kick off with a bit of racing review. This is where Chris goes off and has a sleep, which is fair enough, or maybe something more exciting, but we'll leave him to it. Yeah, one of those, exactly. John, I'd like to get your views on Chester from last week. I'm not going to go through everything, but anything that caught your eye in any of the classic trials?
Well, to be honest, the 3-year-olds didn't impress me at all. I don't think we saw anything amongst the 3-year-olds that was going to be any use going forward as regards classics. The one horse that did impress me enormously was Illinois, who I thought had done well from 3 to 4 as any horse I could remember seeing. I thought the physical progress was absolutely astounding. I'd be very, very...
Was it a subject of one of your excellent Sunday morning notes I saw this morning, John, which is available on Patreon? I'll do Lee's job there with a quick plug.
Yeah, I could honestly, I could hardly believe the cut of the horse, to be honest. I would imagine now that he's scooted round there, I think something like the Coronation Cup could be a very logical next step.
Yeah, I mean, they're not exactly short in middle distance Group 1 horses, are they? Would you be happy to stick him at 12, or would you be trying to stretch him out for a Gold Cup or anything like that?
I certainly wouldn't go further than 12 with him, because I thought he got a little bit outstayed in the ledger. I'd be more inclined than anything to drop him to 10. I think as a much stronger individual this year, I would imagine that he would cope with the tempo better at 10 than he would have done last year. I think he's in for a hell of a season, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was probably the one big takeaway from the week. I'm not sure what price he is Coronation Cup, but probably getting a decent one. I don't know if they've said if they're going there or not, but you could certainly see it being logical.
This is the thing. I mean, he's got the ledger winner as well. It's probably Coronation Cup type. Other than that...
Los Angeles, of course, potentially.
Yeah. You couldn't see him taking a Coronation Cup horse for a King George afterwards if he was one of the others, because he's going to try and sweep the lot up, isn't he, with them 3?
Yeah, I mean, early signs are looking pretty concerning if you're an English-based trainer, aren't they? I mean, they won the lot there last week.
He's going to make Willie Mullins look like John Wainwright, isn't he? Let's be fair.
It's looking that way, isn't it? The strength and depth is pretty astounding. And obviously that rolled on to yesterday at Lingfield, John, with one of the, got to be the worst renewal of that Lingfield Oaks trial I've seen. Winner impressive, and again, an anti-post bet from myself that will probably end up not making Epsom, as they always do. But she got the job done. And what were your thoughts, John? Bit keen from my perspective is the worry, but conditions might have played.
I don't mind seeing them a bit keen in a trial, because at Epsom, they have that uphill section where they normally go a good lick anywhere, right at the start. And I think you want one that does plenty in the jockey's hands for that first quarter mile. Because if you don't travel that bit, you get in the shit. And once you're in the shit round there, then you're going to stride faster than you want. So then you've got to come down that fucking Skelpie hill. It just all gets a bit much. So for me, she's the ideal type for around there. Whether she can balance that against not pulling like a nutter, that remains to be seen. I mean, that'll be a day of event job, won't it? But physically, she'll scout round there as though she's on rails. she'll travel, and they're obliged to go there after a facile win in an Oaks trial, aren't they?
As an anti-post backer, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed the race ended up as it was yesterday. I think she'd come on from it from a fitness perspective, but I don't know how much she'd have learnt in what was essentially a glorified gallop in the end of it. And is that enough to make her the first choice? But if I compare her to the Chester Oaks winner, I think she certainly got more potential than that. I thought that looked a bit of a kind of grinder.
The one yesterday looked much more of an athlete to me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And then on to the Derby trial, which caused a bit of controversy, John, and was one of your points in the questions thread this week with Dickie Kingscote on the second. What was your view on that one?
Well, he should have won, shouldn't he?
I backed it, as always. That was me effing and blinding. But having watched it back with a slightly more composed head, it looked poor, I thought.
Yeah, no question. I mean, he was frightened to go past the crowd.
Reminded me of that Port Douglas Chester from a few years back. Similar thing, wasn't it?
And they get away with it because of these stupid bloody whip rolls now, because they can come in and say, oh, Miss Carter had used them all up, and it's a bit of bollocks. He wasn't even vigorous enough pushing the arse out.
No.
For my money.
I thought the worst part was that kind of feeble tap he gave it about 20 yards from the line when he'd already been beat. I mean, what?
Well, yeah, one of the worst aspects of that was Jason Weaver counted that as a smack on
Yes.
ITV. ITV's pundits, the last couple of meetings on the tellies have been they've had nightmares.
John Peterson's been on. We might as well cover his question now. He said, Kingscote bullshit, ITV sweeping under the carpet, sport and betting compromised live on TV. Chris, what's your view on this? I know you're an avid ITV racing man.
Well, it's another outing for Teddy Beckett's massive carpet. I mean, everything gets swept under that, don't they? It's extraordinary. I mean, Jason Weaver is the kind of the paradigm apologist for everything that's sort of sweet and wonderful about horse racing. You never hear him criticise jockeys properly. I thought Kingscote's ride was lamentable. I think it at least deserves some kind of comment other than, what could he have done? Well, he could have fucking won the race, couldn't he? That's what he could have done. And unfortunately, Jason Weaver is just the arch gravy slurper as far as I'm concerned. Adds nothing, takes plenty. So, yeah, not a great day for him, even by his low standard.
It does feel it's just getting worse and worse. And I don't know what the solution is, because if you just fill the cast with these ex-jockeys, they're going to have a mate who they don't want to call out, and it just never gets answered.
Precisely, because you see, unlike football, racing is one of those things whereby it's all a big club, and they, at the front of their mind, they'll have, well, I might see this person tomorrow at Ripon or somewhere, and I don't really want any unpleasant. So the path of least resistance is to say everything's great. Support your mates, and that's the problem. So there's no real journalism. I know people sort of rave about Lydia Hislop, but they only do so because she's the closest, I think, to a proper journalist in the sport. But frankly, I don't particularly rate her, but that's just a personal opinion. So racing is bereft of any kind of critical thinkers, unfortunately. And what you've got now is a whole wave of these sorts of moronic podcasts with the living embodiment of that. I was going to say, like, people that make kind of spasmo remarks, which is us again. But other than us, there are loads of people doing it. And unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any proper journalism coming through. I mean, did you see Luck on Sunday this morning, where they're talking to two young graduates who are sort of media training types? And I thought, well, what training are they actually giving them? Other than, how to get to the buffet first, how to get a good place in the car park, and how to fuck off early to beat the traffic. Because that seems to be the life of a pundit and journalist.
And you've got to have the double-barreled surname, and you've got to be a nephew or a cousin of someone who's been in the sport. So that leaves the likes of us with no hope. But that's why we do this on a Sunday, and I think we're having more fun doing that.
Was ever thus, yeah.
So that was Saturday. It was a pretty lukewarm kind of day race. And John, was there anything else that caught your eye, perhaps, from any other meetings on? A bit of Ascot yesterday. The Vicky Cup didn't feel a vintage one to me. What were your thoughts?
Again, another fairly bang average race. I mean, the race of the weekend that just left me really, really gagging for York to start, in all honesty.
I completely agree.
That's as bad a Derby trial weekend as I can remember. I was struggling to dig anything out to have a score on for a bit of fun.
If you look at the last few years, we love York. We don't make that unclear, but it does feel like Derby and Oaks pecking orders are sort of still to be determined. So let's hope we get a pretty good Musadora and a Dante.
Well, the Dante's lining up to be pretty tidy, I think. I think there's still about 14 entered. And obviously we've got the Derby favourite, as was, in the lineup looking like lining up. I think we've got a reasonable sort of Musadora, and that should have a bearing on the Oaks, one way or another. So hopefully we'll have a good week coming, and we'll have a little bit more exciting stuff to review.
That would be nice, wouldn't it? But you'll be hearing from us on that meeting over the next couple of days. There will be a podcast. I would say you'd be pleased to hear, but with our recent form, I don't know if you will be. But
it's coming out tomorrow night for the Patreon members, isn't it?
Indeed. I mean, it is our home track. We do well there, so I'm feeling confident enough.
We only do well there because we know where the fucking ice cream stand is.
Well, that's it, exactly. Backyard for us, not, isn't it?
We can get a Charlotte's rum and raisin and double quick. That's us doing well at York.
Yeah, Chris won't be on sweets duty this week, unfortunately. We'll have to get his advice on what to buy.
Well, yes, I'm happy.
We send him lucky into that.
Yeah.
Better off by proxy, I think. Send someone else in.
And just to cover off very recent events in France, the 2 guineas have just happened there. The Colts race, John, won by Henri Matisse on the head bob from John Quill. I mean, I think we've slated O'Sheen probably quite rightly in recent times, and I didn't back him, so it's not pocket talk for a change, but I thought he was a little bit weak in the finish there. But am I going mad?
No, if you're backing him against the likes of Ryan Mower in a finish, it's like betting the white bloke in boxing, isn't
it? Right. And the 1,000 guineas, John, that's literally just happened, and I've just been informed there's been a steward, and the first past the post, She's Perfect, owned by friend of the show, Basher Watts, has been chucked out, John. Gosh, I mean, allegedly didn't think there was going to be some payment made anywhere there, but they don't have to worry about it now, do they?
A bit of a blow for Basher, isn't it? I did mention when the inquiry was announced in the old days, it was an absolute gimme. If we were up against a frog in an inquiry, ours was a goner. Sure enough, she's gone.
I think, look, we joke. I mean, that's heartbreaking, really, isn't it? To win a classic, a relatively inexpensive filly, and that to happen to the great Aga Khan, of course. So I think your theory might be right there, John.
Well, I mean, I don't know what else has to go wrong for poor old Skidmark this week. I mean, probably get home and burn his omelette tonight or something.
Yeah, that's been obviously one of the big topics this week, and we might as well come on to. We were about to say he's told Gosden to fuck off there and gone and won a classic. He's had that taken away from him. So can it get any worse for Skidmark? I'm not sure.
You know, it's like us, isn't he? God,
yeah.
Found someone who's even more unlucky.
Kieran will sponsor you for the remainder of the flat season. You're welcome with us.
He'll be hit by a fucking bus on day one, wouldn't he? Mind you, that would save us paying any more sponsorships. That might be good for us, bad for him. So no.
Yeah, very true. But John, you put some interesting commentary on your notes this week when you haven't made you have made your position clear on your thoughts on Gosden and Son. I mean, sum up where you sort of feel they've gone wrong here, or
it's happened time and again with the Gosdens and the jockeys. I thought the Frankie sabbatical was a farce from start to finish. I mean, Frankie had a bad ascot that time, but why would you throw somebody under a bus that's been with you about 25 years, ridden some fantastic winners for you, and just over 1 week, you go in public telling them you're putting them on a sabbatical, as though you treat them like some sort of stable hand that's been lucky to get rides in the first place. And then, when he comes back in terrific form, having the sheer fucking hubris to say that it's down to your management skills and the fact that you put him on a sabbatical. And then to go again after the Guineas last Saturday, where he ran out of track. Oh, well, what did he do? It's condescending, it's unpleasant, and it just illustrates to me the feudal aspect of riding for Clarehaven. There was trouble after King George one year when Adam Kirby bumped one of his horses, and he kept referring to Kirby as the boy in commentary. And to me, that just absolutely summed up what they think of jockeys and fellow participants. If you're not in the old money club, you ain't in any club.
I know everyone in racing loves the gravy train, but if you're a kind of half decent jockey with a pretty comfortable gig at the minute. Why would you give that up to go and join them? Because you know you're going to be slung out to dry eventually. So it's a hard one. Where do you think they might go from here in terms of the next person?
Well, I think for a start, that probably up to the end of the season, the Willio is the best available, and then we'll see what the situation is like with people renewing contracts and things. I just can't have them as a unit. Personally speaking, if they never had another winner, it wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
No, absolutely. They're not a likable bunch. And from Skidmark's perspective, it's one thing being told that by Gosden Senior, but when you got kind of tipping point man chiming in at you as well, how are you going to feel about that? I mean, it just sums the game up. If you've got the surname, that's where you go. Isn't that right, Chris?
Never mind. He might win the French Guineas. Oh, no, he didn't. Oh,
yes. Poor week for Skidmark. But even so, we've probably still had a worse week, haven't we, chaps?
That's what we do. Hell. He's come home to his missus tonight, as Shoemark, and says, "Well, I've had a terrible week, but thank fuck I'm not like those cunts on bar stewards." You know, that's some consolation. At least I'm not them, and I think a lot of people say that.
Yeah, well, if that's our contribution to racing, then it's probably quite a profound one, to be fair.
It is quite profound, yeah. We are causing a ding in the universe, I think, as they say.
Yes, well, we'll come on to some other topics from the week. New marketing campaign, 3.6 million has been put in to showcase the sport. Now, what are our thoughts on this?
It's like you chuckling away there, Chris, at the mere mention of 3.6 million quid. Yeah. It's hilarious, isn't it? Because this time they're going to experts.
Yes, you're right. As opposed to just anyone.
Previous attempts where they went to postman.
Jermaine Genus not an expert then, no? I thought he was.
Postman, crocodile wrestlers, you name it. Everybody's had a go. But now they've decided the best method is expert.
Yeah.
And even now, they are unable to define what will be a successful campaign as regards numbers added to attendances, increases in betting turnover. They're basically point blank refused to say anything as regards how they will quantify this being a success, which is typical for them. We've got formed for doing it ever since Great British Racing was formed. It's because if you did try to quantify the success of any of it, you'd probably just say that it's money just basically tipped down the sink.
And to me, it just my sort of nefarious hat on. It feels kind of very COVID contracty, you know, such and such's marketing firm will get the gig and it will be a mate of someone. You know, it's like you say, John, how are they going to quantify success here? It's unmeasurable, and that's how they get away with it.
Well, it's experts in the field that these people know. So as you say, it's not anybody coming in that's new to them. There won't be any new faces. They might be new to us. We might not have heard of them before. But I dare say they'll have had their share of corporate buffies and things at the track.
Chris, if you had 3.6 mil, and other than just tell us all to fuck off and run away with it, if you couldn't do that, what would you do to the game?
I'd stick it all up my nose. That'd be it. And whatever's left, because I'll be dead by the time I get to the end of 3.6, you two and Lee could share it all. There you go.
That sounds all right to me.
That's my contribution to it. Look, we joking aside, we talked about the untapped potential of the grey pound. Now I do get the obvious obsession with trying to attract new folk to racing or trying to attract people that have drifted away. But the reality is that people, generally speaking, let's say under the age of 50 years old, that aren't hugely successful in their careers or aren't wealthy, just simply still do not have the time to attend race meetings in the midweek. And, when you're in your 20s and you're looking to build a family, blah, 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 you just don't have the disposable income. So I've always advocated for a real push on the so-called great pound. So, retired people who would otherwise spend their days visiting garden centres, sipping one cup of coffee in the cafe or going to National Trust properties, they could be introduced to racing as, not just a sort of a vehicle for betting, but also, a day out, share ownership, on all those kind of social things, which, you know, people who have retired, who, you know, people have retired up to now, they are likely to have disposable income. Although wind the clock forward 10 years, there'll be no more retired people because you'll be working till you drop dead, but that's a separate matter. And so I think people who are retired now, I think racing could be marketed to them as a great day out, a way of meeting friends, in just having a hobby. And I think a lot of women who are married to retired men would be delighted for the opportunity for their old man to get out from under their feet and just fuck off a couple of days a week. I really do think so. So I think the grey pound is not a sexy kind of demographic, but they got money to spend, and I think racing will be ideal for people who are retired. But listen, we've said this for years. No one's even acknowledged that it's even a shit idea. In fact, no one's even acknowledged it. So they know better than us. So let's see.
Well, that's it with us. No one names us in anything, do they? It's a valid point, Chris, because if you...
I think we're in the latest Harry Potter, aren't we, instead of that Voldemort? I think she's put us in instead of that Voldemort bloke.
Oh, yeah. They want a real evil character. Yeah, no, I thought we were like the goblins in the bank. Remember that scene? That's great.
Oh, yeah.
They're fucking well good, they are, anyway. Yes, listen, the guy whose name escapes me that was wheeled out Lock on Thunder, you know, he's got a really, really heavyweight marketing pedigree, which if you are appointed, it's the old saying, no one ever got the sack for appointing Clifford Chance, right? So that's a really safe appointment. Like, so if it all goes wrong and he burns through that 3.6 million and where there are no measurable results, no one's head will roll because he's got a stellar pedigree. He's, you know, from a consultancy background, he's done campaigns for Pepsi, the leisure industry, you know, a proper professional marketeer, but one that has no background, as far as I can see, in marketing a sport like racing. But again, no one's going to get their head kicked in for appointing him because, listen,
You just say it was 400,000 short, wasn't he? And if he'd had that, it'd all been all
yeah.
right.
Yeah, give me 4 and I could have turned the game around,
Yeah.
you tight cunts.
Yeah. If there is a stewards after it, when someone turns around and say, who put this man in charge? His CV is so strong that it'll be, you know, well, why wouldn't you? He's a top guy. I mean, what am I meant to do? So it's a very defensive appointment, I think. What they should have done, I think, is kind of, you know, try to recruit it from an, you know, with more of an in-house, in quotes, perspective, because I think the problem with all these exercises in marketing, you know, racing is not unique, but it's one of the few sports, should I say, that you really need to be grounded in it. You need to grow up with it. It needs to be in your DNA to really understand the challenges that the sport faces. It's not something that you can read a briefing paper for a month, ask a few questions, do a quick tour of a few race courses and say, yeah, I understand racing. And that's the problem with all of these marketing exercises, because they don't rely on in-house expertise enough, I don't think. But listen, what do we know?
Well, Sam the Cat's been on and he said if we were giving it, Chris, you've said you put up your nose, but
yeah,
if you weren't to do that, which famous person would you employ to get their eyes on racing? Which activities, leagues or promotional events could you do?
I don't know. John, I need to think about this.
To be honest with you, and it wouldn't make anybody's approval at all, I would go down the trash TV route because that's what everybody seems to be taking up at the minute. You got all these reality shows and that, the likes of Katie fucking Price and people like that. And people love it, you know? I mean, I have a mate that does these sportsman's dinners.
Right.
And he was going to put AP McCoy on in Middlesbrough.
Oh, fucking hell.
Yeah,
could be an insomnia cure for you if you can't sleep.
And Middlesbrough and AP McCoy in the same sentence. Fucking hell, John.
It's very Alan Partridge, that, isn't it? Idea for TV show. AP McCoy takes on Middlesbrough.
The shadow of the ICI factory. Yeah, right.
Yeah, he said to me that he's going to put AP McCoy on. He'd be able to charge £55 a ticket and he'd get 200 people there. I said, well, I tell you what. I said, you get Katie Price on. I said, you'll fill the fucking town hall at 30 quid a ticket.
Yeah, you absolutely would.
I think you get more bang for your buck, if you pardon the pun, with her for 30 quid than McCoy. So
get Bonnie Blue on, couldn't you? Fucking hell.
You've stolen my idea, Chris. Because
sorry about that.
My 3.6 million was just going to be a big OnlyFans marketing campaign. I mean, that will get people coming racing, wouldn't it?
Oh my God, yeah, absolutely. You know, like fucking Becky from Daytona Beach says, "Go racing, it's great," and I'll suck you off. There you go. Honestly. Just by way of
Exactly that.
example.
The uncomfortable fact is, and that none of these marketing companies are prepared to grasp, is that in order to get sustainable results from any marketing campaign,
Yeah.
you've got to get people fucking betting.
Yes, you do. You can't escape that.
That's how people engage with the sport.
Yeah, I agree.
My sort of slightly not serious but slightly more serious idea would be give Blogger the 3.6 mil
Well, why not?
and let him do it in the ring, and at least that money comes back into the sport.
Absolutely right. That's not a bad idea. That's like guerrilla marketing, isn't it? It's like
Yeah.
I like that.
I think I'd just give him it to piss off, to be honest.
I think he'd do it for far less, John.
Yeah, I'm fucking right.
I want to make sure.
I'd do it for 36 quid. So
yeah, you can pay us off if you like. We'll fuck off into the sunset.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, put a plea out there. If you want us to go, you know how to make it happen.
Well, you never know. They don't like us, so that might well be an email tomorrow.
Fuck off for nothing.
Yes, indeed. Talking of spunky money, John, we've had a question from Kate and Dub here. Ammo Racing blowing 1.75 mil on a potential Catterick seller contender. Is Kia an impulsive shopper or fucking clueless? Or both, I guess.
Well, he seems to buy a lot through Alex Elliott, doesn't he? Hesitates to say one of the more likeable of the bloodstock agent clique down in Newmarket. I don't. It's just totally alien to me as to why people go through agents, why they have agents on the team, and certainly why anyone would tell an agent what the budget was. It's all just totally against the way I'd do anything. I can't really comment on it because it just makes me sick, to be honest.
I mean, Chris, you're a known lover of bloodstock agents. You know.
Yes. I am known in many rings around the world, Jack.
If you say so yourself. How badly can you get it wrong if you're being given that much money? I mean, eventually something's going to be half decent, isn't it?
You can, of course. I mean, you could buy your first half dozen snappy dancers, couldn't you? That could be the end of you. But listen, if you've got a sort of a wealthy and not hugely sophisticated client, you can bluff your way through it. You can, and if you, as you say, if you get lucky in your first 2 or 3 purchases, that buys you an awful lot of credit. Because as we've said before, wealthy, hard-nosed, ruthless businessmen turn to jelly whenever they get involved in racing. So that all their business principles of, looking at expenditure, ruthlessly addressing costs, rewarding great performance, punishing poor performance goes out the window. They go all gooey-eyed when it comes to race, and that's how bloodstock agents and trainers have managed to, to rinse quite a few wealthy people over the years. So, it's weird, isn't it? But who knows? It seems like a good gig to me.
I guess it's just a case of people coming into racing. They're not there to make money, are they? So they're happy to just keep ploughing this money in. But surely, eventually, some of them are going to get bored, and I think Kia strikes me as one of them.
They do, Jack, yeah. And eventually he will get bored. He'll writing endless checks and not getting very, very much. I mean, I don't know what his expectations are. I mean, he could be one of these guys that, because I've paid a lot of money, I absolutely demand results. And here are the results that I demand you achieve. If he comes to the sport with that mentality, then he'll be gone in 18 months, 2 years. But I suspect he's probably sort of taken up with the drama and the mystique of it all, and the fact that he's able to rub shoulders with the British aristocracy. Look at me, I've come from nothing, and then I'm on the top table. And I don't think you can underestimate the appeal that has for foreign racehorse owners or newcomers to sport. It's their chance to tread on the same bit of grass as King Charles and Royal Ascot and jolly good show. Let's have a cup of tea, old chap. All that shit. So yeah, I think that's where racing does. It's very good at keeping those sort of people interested.
Well, it certainly keeps them interested, but not keeping punters interested, as Pete Turf said. 50 quid for Tats Chester on Wednesday for their Oaks Derby trial. John, who's just been appointed at Chester, our friend Julie, and Pete's gone on to say 25 quid for York Nant. We all know what a great racecourse they are, but punters have opened with their feet now. I mean, 50 quid for that, it's not good, is it?
Trouble is, Chester fills, doesn't it? I mean, I don't know what the figures were this week. As far back as I can remember, this May meeting's been horrible to its end because it does absolutely sell out. So To a certain extent, I can understand them charging the earth. I don't think it's good for repeat business, but I get where they're coming from. It's like someone said earlier on our Twitter feed. It's like the last days of Raw. Everybody's trying to make sure they get paid.
Yeah.
It's a closing gambit, isn't it? Putting prices up at this stage of proceedings, but you can absolutely get where they're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, they probably lucked out with the weather, didn't they?
Yeah.
Pissed it down, they'd probably all be saying 50 quid, what you playing at. But as you say, if you put sun on and some scantily dressed Liverpudlian women, the punters are going to turn up ultimately, aren't they?
That's it. As I say, I don't know the exact numbers, but I think they've done all right this week.
Peter's been on. He said, what do you make of that Godolphin piece? I don't know if either of you saw this in the post, but there was a strap line of the Phoenix has truly risen from the ashes of Al Zarooni. What load of bollocks.
Yeah.
Absolutely nauseating.
Why now? What was that, 12, 13 years ago? What suddenly happened in this last week that...
Well, where's the mention of Princess Latifah? Where's the mention of Princess Aya? And all the other despicable acts that the top owner in British racing has been up to? Just stop, stop already. Do not write sycophantic shit like this about Godolphin. It's bad enough that the sport welcomes these people with open arms with the track records they have. Don't rub it into people, I mean, they think people are sick.
Some of us are.
Like her mum, Queen Latifah. She used to have all her albums.
Yes. I don't know what radiator she's at these days.
Very good, yeah.
As you say, John, nauseating stuff. And is it a feeble attempt to just try and, like Chris was saying with the ammo guys, is it just massaging egos to try and keep these people engaged?
I call it sports washing.
Yes.
Don't they? It sort of puts everything else that they do in their daily lives into the background and just has us concentrating on sporting achievement. At the end of the day, basically throwing an entire country's wealth at their indulgence. And secondly, they've got a track record for treating people like shit.
As Al Zarooni found out, John, you were a massive Al Zarooni fan, weren't you? The 2-year-old system that paid out.
I was absolutely all over the Al Zarooni 2-year-old. It was basically the best system I've ever had in my life in racing. You didn't need to study form, you didn't need to do anything. All you had to do at the start of the week was look for where Al Zarooni had 2-year-old scheduled to debut and then make sure you got as much on as you could every time one ran.
Chris, that sounds like your dream.
That was it.
Well, it's kind of like David Loader in the early days. Remember, before they came 5 on chances, they just used to win, didn't they? That was it.
The beauty of these buggers, though, Chris, I mean, the market never fancied him half the
No,
time.
true.
You'll get
True.
7-2 folks going out to 11-1.
Yeah.
And they were winning 6 lengths.
Easy game.
Ah.
There you go. Oh, well.
I hope one day we can have a special podcast with him on if he ever comes back to the UK.
Yeah, well, Lee's reached out to him. I think I've sent him a message before.
Bust a nut to get him on because.
Is it the real one though? I don't know.
Well, that's it, Chris, isn't it? I'm
sure.
dubious. I'm dubious.
Lee seems to think it is. I'm not convinced. I mean, I think
the real one is a friend on my Facebook.
Does he post similar stuff to his Twitter, or is he quite quiet?
Very, very, very quiet on that. Very quiet.
We'll send the invite out once, and I think we'll break the internet if we ever get that exclusive.
Yeah, I think so.
Rob's been on summer jumps, topic we all love talking about.
Thanks, Rob. You twat.
Unless you were an owner, why on earth would you have gone to Warwick's jump meeting last night? 2 times 3 runner races and no races with 3 places. I mean, John, if there were 30 runners a race, we wouldn't turn up. So what hope have you got with 2 times 3? What's the point of summer jumps, really?
Well, I wouldn't have gone there if I'd been making a £5 brass.
£4?
Maybe. I don't know really why they persist with it. I don't even know anybody that bets on it.
No.
I honestly don't. And I mean, I get in racing conversation with loads of people week in, week out. Summer jumping never, ever gets a mention.
No. Key difference, isn't it? Because when the flat hibernates and we all hibernate, the all-weather serves a purpose. But the fact is, jumpers on rock-hard ground, I mean, it's not good from a welfare perspective because you're just giving free ammo away if anything fucking keels over. and it's a shit spectacle. So what is the point?
Exactly. It's very poor. Racing loves banging on about the welfare aspects and all this. If racing cared about welfare, there would not be summer jumping. I don't care what anybody says.
Completely agree. Chris, any thoughts on summer jumping? That's one of your favourite subjects, isn't it?
Well, nothing really. I mean, I agree with John. I think, why would you want to bet on? I mean, you would if someone told you something, wouldn't you? So there's this thing with fucking £50. Well, of course you would, and so would
What
you.
if your Irish mate came on and said,
No,
flying machine there?
fucking Chesney Horse running a cart mail there, fucking have what you want on you, etc., etc. Yes, well, yeah, you might be tempted, but I suspect, it's pretty uninspiring stuff, isn't it? But listen, we've broken our rule. We said we would not discuss anything relating to jumps until October.
I know.
Broke on your first out.
Oh, I know. I won't be getting the second series, will I?
P45 for you, honestly. That's it. You're gone, mate. Finished, done.
Well, I've charged a big day rate just for today because I knew I wouldn't be getting a call.
But... I hope so. Like monkey an hour. Yeah, quite right. Talk slow, yeah.
Yeah, I've got to tick this on for a couple of hours just to get paid out.
Yeah, quite right. Yes.
More bullshit. Global Racing League, John. That was on your questions thread this week. Now, I saw very little bits about this, and it didn't take much interest. Do you know anything about what this is?
Well, from what I can gather, it's teams of jockeys again, isn't it?
Oh, brilliant. That's worked well in the past.
Exactly. What other things, Nobody engages with jockeys unless they've backed said jockey. If I don't back Ryan Mower again before the end of his career, I won't care whether he rides another winner or not.
Yeah, quite right.
Yeah, that's reality, though, John. That's truth.
For some reason, the powers that be seem to want to make the jockeys the stars of all this, and get them following like footballers and things, Well, you can maybe teach your kid to do a bit of Maradona's ball juggling or something if you get him a football. But how are you going to get him to emulate Andrew Slattery? You're going to buy him a fucking pony and tell him to anchor it at the back for 7 furlongs and make a move when it's all too late.
Yeah. Or a Matty Bachelor and fall off all the time, yeah.
Yeah, what the fuck? It's not equitable with what they're aiming at, because as I say, they're taking away from football, the team aspect, the idolatry of the footballers themselves, and it doesn't work.
But it's everything except betting, John, and this is the point that we've raised time and time again. Every initiative is all about everything except having a bet. It's the elephant in the room. It's everything except the main reason. So let's find something else. There has to be something else other than betting. You could almost imagine yourself in these marketing meetings. We can't use the B word. So come on, gang, let's brainstorm. Anything except the B word. And unfortunately, this is what you get.
It's amazing to me that we've had time and time again these sort of initiatives put in place. And jockeys are just little boring blokes. They're not going to gather interest, and the ones that are going to be beneficiaries of initiatives like this are going to be your top earners anyway. Why do they need more money? If you just put whatever budget this is and that other 3.6 mil directly into prize money, it benefits owners who keep the sport funded. And you could argue, but it'll be Godolphin, blah blah blah, but you never know. We've all seen long shots of random stuff.
But you literally can. You can add some of it to prize money, but you could also have really much more creative marketing initiatives, lots of small kind of pilot initiatives, rather than sort of monk the whole lot off on one huge kind of grand Stalinist 5-year plan for transformation. Lots of little pilots. Let's test this over a 3-month period, a 2-month period. Let's see what the results are. And as John said, have some metrics of success. This little pilot worked,
Chris, it's a jockey's challenge. They are little pilots.
Hey, he's here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitress, and the steak's lovely. Yeah, quite. You're a loss to the Borscht Belt, honestly. Catskills, you could done stand up in the Catskills.
It's my audition for the BBC. They'll be on to me tomorrow.
Is it? Do you think this is an audition? Is this what you think? This is a fucking hostage tape, mate. This will go out. This will go out on YouTube later, but yes.
Yes, more bollocks, unsurprisingly. Further questions. John, I'll give you this one. This is from Algo Odds. Chris is already bored at the name, so he won't be good for this.
Yeah, boring.
Timeform used to do a physical description of every debutant, but penny pinching put paid to that. That was a tongue twister. Who publishes physical descriptions nowadays? Well, I'll tell you who does. John Length on our Patreon site. So if that's what you want, Algo Odds, then sign up. What are you playing at? John, this could have been your gig, really. Paddock watch 2-year-old stuff, couldn't it?
Favourite looks well. What do I
Yeah, it does.
say? Give me my £9 now.
I don't know where else they do it now, in all honesty. I mean, Racewell Notebook used to give you a few tidbits, like has done well and things like that. But no, if you want a physical description, I'm afraid you're probably looking at not beyond the bar steward's Patreon service, I'm afraid.
Exactly that. Lee probably put that on a burner account to get us to plug the Patreon, but nicely done and completely agree. I don't think there's a better service out there. Right, that's enough boring racing chat. Let's come on to some funnies. Andrew Woodman, friend of the show, he put this one out there in the week for us. A recent tweet from the Digital Addiction Awareness claimed that online gambling significantly increases erectile dysfunction and reduced libido. Is online gambling reducing the bar steward's libido? Chris, John, I really want to hear from you on this one.
Well, online losing is, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it is with us because we don't back any winners, so that's not
exactly. Yeah, it's all flaccid kind of. Yeah, quite. No, it doesn't.
Well,
I have an acquaintance who works abroad.
Okay.
Doctor, yeah.
He's single. He's basically just been piling money up. And towards the end of the football season, out of sheer boredom and drunkenness, he had £35,000 on the outcome of a football
Fucking
match.
hell, where's he getting that on?
He fell asleep before the match finished, and he woke up to find that he'd done his money. And this is the bit that's important when it comes to the libido aspect. He actually ejaculated.
It's a cry wank, isn't it? It's have a lem sip and a cry wank. That's the thing.
He just ejaculated and he's all afraid.
And he told you this. What context would he tell you this? Say, John, guess what happened to me last night?
I got it from a third party, Chris.
Oh, okay. This is sounding like a very flake. You're crumbling under pressure, honestly.
No,
it's you.
Yeah, this is John.
He told this third party face to face,
right? And
the third party told me and said, "You'll never fucking believe this." And at first I thought, well, surely not, but it's so fucking ridiculous. It's plausible, isn't it? I mean, why would you tell anybody you've done that?
Yes, thankfully for your friend, he'll remain unnamed for the purpose of this. But I mean, that puts the Digital Addiction Awareness survey into disrepute, doesn't it? I think we've answered that question in one there.
In fact, it's good for erectile dysfunction, so gamble more and more irresponsibly. That's our advice.
Yeah, to remain anonymous. He's called Tom Kenning.
Poor bastard.
Yes, poor fucker.
He's got a name check on the show, anyway.
There you go.
For all the wrong reasons.
I mean, if he's got 35k to spunk on a football game and fall asleep, I think he's probably all right, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so. He's not pacing the room, is he?
It was some kind of reaction, wasn't it? It was a physical reaction to doing the 30,000.
Well, there used to be I can't remember now. I have to Google it. People Google it and tell us the answer. There used to be a famously cruel criminal court judge here in England who used to famously ejaculate when issuing the death penalty to people in the dock. And there was a sort of a memoir. I think one of the court clerks said that he used to have his suits dry cleaned after every sort of sentence where he gave the death penalty because he got so excited. He monked in his stride. This fucking sadistic old fucker. So somebody can Google it for us and tell us in the Twitter thread afterwards what his name was. But that's apparently true. I
think we've got a question for next week there. What makes you ejaculate but not sex?
Okay, that's a very, very dark.
Backing a winner for me, but I wouldn't know.
It's pretty niche, isn't it?
Yeah, and possibly illegal as well. We're going to flush out a few serial killers that will be coming on there.
Yeah.
That's all right. They're all behind pseudonyms online, so they'll get away with it. Unlike us, we're all out there. No. Right, other funnies. Ronnie Omelette. I always love that name. Very simple question, this. Which animal?
Rats. I hate rats. I'm one of these scaredy cats. I have a visceral fear and hatred. Well, not hatred, a visceral fear of rats. I just hate them. I can't even bear to see them on film. Dreadful things.
John?
I think it'd really piss me off if I ever got a basin in my bathroom.
Yes.
In that sort of unlikely scenario. Why bathroom? Would be all right in the living room?
Yeah, oh yeah, they live like pigs.
Well,
up
yeah,
there.
if you get the other side of the settee,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Bison. Have you ever eaten bison meat?
No, what's it like?
Bit tough.
Is it?
But I think sort of thing John would like. He loves all that kind of roadkill
Yeah,
shit.
he eats anything, doesn't he? To be fair. He does. He does eat anything pretty much.
I think foxes, and it's a bit divisive this, because
Okay.
a lot of people
Don't like.
put
Yeah.
them down as these kind of lovely wild creatures. I mean, I grew up in inner London, the concrete jungle, and they're horrible fuckers round there.
Then, like you say, now this is where we depart. You see, I'm an animal rights sort of fucking loon, and
You like
I'm a
them,
meat
do you?
eater. Reluctantly, I do. I like badgers, foxes. You can all fuck yourself. All the gassing people, fox hunters, all fuck off. Can't have them. Can't have them at all. There you go. See, we can divide our audience now. So, in the comments section, who's with me and who's against me? Let's find out what our listeners have really made.
Yeah, comment below, please. Yeah.
Yeah, comment below. Let's have some engagement instead of stupid fucking questions. How about some engagement? Come on.
I'm not hot on the shooting of them and stuff, but I think because the inner London ones are all scavengers, aren't they? They've got nothing to eat. So.
Well, eat a fox.
We've got plenty here, and yeah, listen, they're scavengers. Listen, they were here before us. We've got to remember that. I always think, but yeah, I mean, look, at the end of the day, if I was a farmer who had a sort of a hen coop or whatever, yeah, I can see why they don't like foxes. But you know, I don't like rats. They could get shot. You can shoot the rats instead. I hate rats. Can't bear them.
Yes, well, we'll know what to put in your postbox for Christmas, Chris. And that.
Oh God, don't. Just thinking about rats. The two got skin popping. Horrible.
They are nasty. Steve Mustard,
Yeah.
another strong name.
That's great.
Yeah, I'd love for that to be his real name, Mr. Mustard.
I hope it is. In the library with the lead pipe. Yeah, with that Colonel Mustard. Isn't it?
Yeah.
I wonder if it was half cut.
Oh yeah.
Took a while, got there.
Yeah.
Mr. Mustard said, as part of the VE Day anniversary, the Bastard's been asked to put on a production of Dad's Army. What character are you playing? Any racing personalities involved? He's got John Gosden down to play the vicar.
Possibly. I don't know if that's right, because the vicar was quite vague, wasn't he? I'm trying to remember his name now, because he was quite dithery, wasn't he? Quite sort of, well, I suppose he is John Gosden, quite short-tempered. Captain Square, remembering he was visiting
Timothy Farthing.
Timothy Farthing, thank you very much. Yes, Timothy Farthing. Yeah, I guess you could do. Yeah, quite like that. Someone's nominated me for Private Joe Walker as my character. I think that's outrageous. I see more myself as a sort of an Arthur Wilson urbane and very well spoken. But okay, we'll take Joe Walker, I suppose.
John, who would you be?
Private Sponge, because he was only in it every 4 weeks.
Yes, I'm looking at him, Private Sponge. Yeah, because look, he's a recurring character. Other platoon members. He's one of the background ones. Like, what about yourself, Jack? You're being very quiet here.
I wouldn't be a Dad's Army man, you see, so I'm probably the wrong man to ask.
Why not?
Well,
why not?
Just haven't really watched much of it in my time.
Never watched Dad's Army.
I've seen it on,
What?
but I've not watched it through. Is that something I should be doing?
Oh,
Bloody Faulty Towers or something, isn't it?
I've seen 40 Towers.
No, Dad's Army's good. It's gentle humour. It's very well written in the golden age of British comedy. It's not something that you kind of roar with laughter at, but it's smart. It's like the kind of TV equivalent of cheese and crackers and a hot cup of tea.
It's like the cast of Last of the Summer Wine joining Combat 18.
Yeah, absolutely.
With those kind of marketing descriptions, why are you lads not heading up Great British Racing?
Not quite Combat 18. I mean, I don't think. I think it's more the Home Guard rather than a far right paramilitary organisation. But there's different interpretations of it, I suppose. But no, you'll enjoy it. It's kind of gentle, isn't it, John? It's very gentle humour.
I'll take that away as my homework for next time round.
It's good. You won't sort of roll around laughing, but it's just a nice, gentle sort of watch. Very good.
Before we come on to the last funny, I've just realised there's one important bit of news we missed this week, John. Turner the legend. I presume that's Hayley. Is she?
Yes.
She a legend?
Well, ITV seem to think so.
It's a leg end, that's for sure, yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, ITV would make anyone look like a legend, wouldn't they, to be fair? So I'm not sure on that one myself.
That brought the next to give her the job, didn't they, really? The minute she's retired, she's straight on the telly. She wasn't required to do any research or anything. It was basically, what's the word from Baldwin's Hayley? And then she replies in that squeaky voice that got any higher pitch that only sheepdogs able to hear her. Another day of that, I'd have been built in the telly, I think.
She'll be on paddock watch soon, John. Oh, look at this strapping colt. He's really come into his coat, hasn't he? And all that sort of chat.
Yeah, and the horse looks good as well, yeah.
Yeah, You can see him picking up the easy paddock gig.
Chris, that was just my description of you at Thirsk in the paddock.
Well, it's me, like fucking always really good sheen on my coat. Yeah, exactly. Knows his business first time up. Yeah.
Pulled hard, tamed Fadley, last of three.
Pulled hard. Yes, untrustworthy maiden of little account. Yeah.
We've got a good one here to finish off. I reckon there'll be some good ones from you here. Which trainers do you think could kick your head in? Luke Tucker's gone Fergal O'Brien. See, I'm with him there slightly.
You think so? I reckon you could have him. I
think bald people are hard. I just think most of them, by and large. Owen Burrows, I reckon he'd kick your head in for sure.
Nah, you could fucking do them all, Jack. Let's have a celebrity death match. Come on. If you listen, Owen Burrows, Fergal O'Brien, fucking nothing. Jack,
I'm sure there'd be a few that wouldn't mind kicking my head in, to be fair, so we could organise that, Chris.
Yeah, I know. That's the point, Jack. You missed it. Like, if you want to kick Jack's head in,
form an orderly queue. Bert Doncaster said Gary Moore, the Jelly Deal mobs. He'd probably be a nasty fucker, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he's probably biting and all that.
A lot of cynics underswell there.
Yeah, if you beat him up, you wouldn't be making it home in the evening, sort of thing.
I'm going to throw you a curveball here. Somebody who I have on really good authority who can have a fucking fight, or at least could do, is very, very occasional winning racehorse trainer who has like one winner a year. It's bet off the boards. It's Alan Jones, right? Alan Jones can have a fight, and I've had this from two sources. He's a nasty fucker when he wants to have a row. So Alan Jones, if you're listening, tell us your next plot. We need a winner. Come on.
And if it gets beat, we'll fill you in, or you'll fill us in.
They don't get beat. They win, don't they? They're little 33s into sort of 5 on, and they piss up. But yeah, Alan Jones is apparently quite handy. That's what I've been told.
Ice Cold Cube, the Rafe Ralph team. I mean, if you're fighting two of them, you...
Well, that's it. They're going to come mob handy, aren't they?
They won't. They'll just beat you to death with their mortar boards or whatever they have. You could have them. No danger.
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be thinking they'd be a bit useful, would you?
Wouldn't have thought so.
No, you wouldn't.
No one in Newmarket's hard, I wouldn't have thought.
Are they not? No, there's no like nutters straight up there. I don't know. I haven't been to Newmarket for years, but I suppose I can't think of anyone. But listen, they probably all could.
It's all posh boys now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you go back a few years, there was two absolute fucking nutters.
Go on then, John. We like this. Go on, tell us.
Rally and Price at Swindon, ex-commando.
Yes, SOE, wasn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, when the stable lads straight was on, he was confronted by 4 militant stable lads on his staff on his return to the yard. All 4 were unconscious by the time Price made his way into the kitchen.
Yes. He said, "Now get back to work." That was it. Yeah.
Another one that was a bit useful back in the day was it wouldn't be a fist fight, but Sam Hall at Midland used to think nothing of giving the lad a crack with a shooting stick.
Really?
Sharp end of that, the disc that stops it going right into the ground.
God.
You get that across the shoulder.
Yeah. Sort of child abuse, really, isn't it?
Totally unapologetic. I mean, it was a rough school at Midland back in them days.
What do you reckon about the kilt in a scrap?
Yeah.
I don't think there'll be any violence there from the
kilt.
No, much too intelligent.
Measured man. Be handing out the ice creams instead.
Quite right.
Well, yeah, well, to his credit.
RD's offered up a potential scrap here between Richard the Scaffolder Fahy and Craig Lister. Chris, you're a boxing man. He said it'd be akin to McGuigan Pedrosa from all those years ago.
Yeah, that was good tear up, that, wasn't it? You know Lister quite well, don't you, Johnny? What's he like as a man? He's a nice chap.
Yeah, he's all right. I think he'd share Try, mate. I think Try's got about 10 years past his best now.
Yeah.
When it's out of any description nowadays.
RD said he's a Rotherham lad, so he'll be hard as nails. That's probably true, isn't it?
They're brought up on wheat crunchies and soda water, aren't they?
Yes, quite.
Hugo Palmer could be the flamboyant Ringo, he's added there.
That's a bit weird.
Which he's only up for getting involved, I'm afraid.
Nah.
So that's it. We're not scared of anyone. That's the notion to take away.
No. Fergal O'Brien, stick your cakes up your arse. Jack's coming for you, honestly. He's coming. Unless you want to send us a few tries, that'll do. That calls him off. There you go.
A few winners and we'll be fine.
You bastards. Nice.
Well, that concludes the Bar Stewards Inquiry, and I'm getting filled in by a load of trainers next week, so you won't be seeing me again. Thank you for joining us. That's all for now.